Great news.
Caitlin Clark is set to make her return possibly this upcoming Tuesday.
For this weekend, I'll be reevaluated and we'll have a better idea of when I'll return.
Caitlin Clark quad said there's a possibility she returns Tuesday.
Everyone wants to see Caitlin Clark back on the court at 100%.
She is needed, fam. She is needed.
The wait is over. Caitlin Clark just dropped the biggest update we've all been waiting for. Moments ago, she confirmed that a return to the court is officially on the table.
The fact that she's talking about the return being in short order has to be great and gratifying news.
And it could happen as early as the next game against the Atlanta Dream. This isn't speculation. This is straight from Caitlin herself.
I feel like I've made a lot of progress and I feel good. And yeah, after this weekend, I'll be reevaluated and we'll have a better idea of when I'll return.
The comeback is real and it's closer than anyone expected.
Caitlin Clark says she will be reevaluated this weekend and is making progress as she looks to return from a quad injury.
If you're 100% behind Caitlin Clark, drop a comment below right now to show your support. Let's flood the feed with love for CC.
She's a star caliber player. Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She is more famous than all of this generation's stars.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
In a press conference that just shook the WNBA world, Caitlin Clark herself confirmed what fans have been dying to hear.
Yeah, I'll be reevaluated this weekend, so I'll miss this weekend's game. But after that, it's, day by day and see how I feel and just kind of turn to the medical staff and what they think. But I feel like I've made a lot of progress and I feel good and, I'm not going to rush coming back. It's just not worth it. But after this weekend, I'll be reevaluated and we'll have a better idea of when I'll return.
She's on the verge of returning and her comeback could happen as early as the next game against the Atlanta Dream. That's right. Clark said it loud and clear. I'll be reevaluated this weekend. After that, it's day by day. I've made a lot of progress and I feel good.
Caitlin Clark has said she has made good progress, opened up the possibility of returning for a game.
Those are her exact words, and they point to one thing. Her return is not just possible, it's likely.
The return from Caitlin Clark is gearing up.
This update comes just in time as the Fever prepare for a crucial matchup with the Dream, a team known for physical play and tough defense.
She's going to come into a physical game. This is going to get physical, all right? This game is going to get physical.
It's the exact kind of environment Clark has never backed down from. In fact, the Dream game is the one Clark specifically named as a possibility for her return.
To go against the Dream and the Liberty, she's definitely needed.
And multiple insiders have confirmed that the Fever are actively preparing for her to suit up. Let's be clear. This isn't just a hopeful rumor. This is Caitlin Clark opening the door herself, saying she's feeling strong, progressing quickly, and has her sights set on the court. She emphasized she's not going to rush, but when an athlete of her caliber says, "I feel good," and names the very next game as her target, it's a massive sign that the comeback is already in motion. For Fever fans, for WNBA fans, and for everyone who's missed seeing Caitlin light up the floor,
the Caitlin Clark effect is going to be tabled, and we're going to find out what kind of ratings and attendance we see for the Indiana Fever.
Clark is the only driver of your business.
This is the moment we've been waiting for.
Coming off the injury with 2 back-to-back blockbuster matchups. Hey, it's going to be crazy. Looks like there's a good possibility of Caitlin Clark returning Tuesday. Yep.
She's ready, and her next step is to bring that fire back, right where it belongs, on the court. Caitlin Clark's comeback isn't just exciting, it's absolutely necessary. Since her injury, the Indiana Fever have been fighting to stay afloat, and the numbers tell the story. The team lost 3 straight games without her.
Indiana Fever has been going through trials and tribulations ever since Caitlin Clark has been injured, man. They lost 3 straight games.
Only recently managing to scrape out a win.
3 games in 5 days, I think, was the real issue with the Liberty game, by the way. I said that going in. Clearly, Caitlin Clark was dealing with an underlying issue there.
And that win came thanks to emergency backup point guard Ari McDonald, signed on a hardship contract.
Ari McDonald that they picked up on a hardship contract.
The Fever haven't just been missing a player. They've been missing their leader, their engine, and their identity.
What have you seen from Ari kind of coming in on Sunday, having
2 days. Well, I could tell before her first practice, she definitely watched some film. She knew exactly what we were doing on offense.
Clark's absence has exposed just how vital she is to Indiana's system. As the floor general, she doesn't just score, she controls the tempo, initiates the offense, and creates opportunities for everyone else. Without her, the team's chemistry took a hit.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
Caitlin has always been an underrated athlete. She's the fastest player in the league to me with the ball in her hands, and she was the best guard finishing around the rim last year. She shot a bunch of it, and it's been the whole preseason where it looks to me like on her deepest shots, she is just getting them off like they're nothing, like they're routine, because nobody else is shooting from this distance regularly, and she's doing it with a flick of the wrist. How easily it looks like she's shooting those threes and hitting those threes in the clip that she's doing it, going to the rack, all these various things that show she's even stronger than she was a year ago. And you see it in the strong numbers. I mean, 13 points, 6 boards, 7 assists in 23 minutes of action.
Several transcript commentators noted how the offense just hasn't flowed the same. Caitlin even acknowledged this herself, saying, "We're kind of playing a little bit different than we would probably play if I had the ball in my hands."
I think they've been really, really resilient. It's hard when your point guard goes out that controls a lot of the game, and, people have kind of had to step into positions that maybe they haven't had. And, I think just giving themselves grace, things aren't going to be perfect. We're kind of playing a little bit different than we would probably play if I had the ball in my hands. I thought we played a really great game. Our last game versus the Mystics, I thought we were really good. I thought we started to flow a little bit better on offense.
That statement hits hard because it proves that without her, the team's core strategy has been forced into survival mode.
Christine Brennan puts it perfectly. WNBA without Clark, league feels the hurt. Without Caitlin Clark, fan fervor's down, ticket sales are down, merchandise is down.
Let's not forget, before the quad injury, Clark was on a trajectory that had MVP buzz surrounding her name. She was adjusting to the pros with speed, drawing record-breaking crowds, and bringing the kind of spotlight the WNBA hasn't seen in years.
I know she's been affected, especially with the MVP race, man. Caitlin Clark was set to make a huge run for the MVP this year.
Her value goes beyond stats. It's about leadership, impact, and a gravitational pull that lifts the entire franchise. Even while sidelined, Clark remained deeply involved. She sat with coaches during games, offering insights her teammates might miss on the court.
It's a unique perspective, when you're out there playing and actually in the heat of the moment, you don't always realize everything. You don't always see everything. You see things from a different perspective that maybe the coaching staff didn't see.
As she put it, "I'm trying to be that connector between the coaches and my teammates. Things I see from the bench that maybe our point guard isn't seeing."
Kind of be that connector between the coaches and then my teammates at the same time, whether, that's in the locker room at halftime, whether that's during timeouts of, things I see from the bench that maybe might be a little bit different of a perspective than maybe our point guard is seeing or, anybody on the floor is seeing.
That's leadership in action. Not just waiting to play, but actively contributing every single moment. That kind of commitment makes it crystal clear. She's mentally locked in, even when her body was still healing. Clark's return also comes at a pivotal moment. The Fever's upcoming games are no joke, especially against the Atlanta Dream and then the New York Liberty. These are teams known for gritty, physical defense, and the Fever need every ounce of firepower. Without Clark, multiple creators speculated they might not even have a real shot. But with her back suddenly, those odds flip.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
Suddenly, the Fever have their anchor. And here's what makes this even more powerful. Clark's comeback isn't rushed. She's made it clear she won't compromise long-term health for short-term gain. She said, "I'm not going to rush coming back. It's just not worth it.
Not going to rush coming back. It's just not worth it.
That shows wisdom beyond her years. She knows the responsibility on her shoulders, and she's making sure that when she steps back on the court, she's fully ready to dominate. So yes, this isn't just another game on the schedule. It's a potential turning point for the entire Fever season. With Clark back, Indiana doesn't just get a superstar, they get their heartbeat back. And for fans, the message is clear. Buckle up, because this comeback is about to change everything.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Because she's that awesome person, and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
If there's one thing that separates Caitlin Clark from everyone else in the league, it's her relentless mindset. While the injury sidelined her body, it did nothing to dim her competitive fire.
It happened in the Liberty game. Yeah. No, definitely early in the game, but I couldn't tell you the exact play something occurred on, and could have occurred over the course of the game too. And then obviously adrenaline covers up a lot of stuff when you're in the heat of battle. And after the game, I had some pain, and then got an MRI, and that kind of gave me the result that I didn't want to see. But those type of things don't lie. So yeah.
In fact, listening to Caitlin speak about her time off the court gives you a deeper understanding of who she is. A true warrior, a student of the game, and someone who's been preparing mentally, emotionally, and physically for a comeback that will make headlines. Clark has never been injured like this before. She admitted it's the first time she's missed an extended stretch of games. That alone would throw most athletes off. But instead of sitting around sulking, Caitlin used every single day to study, to lead, and to grow. She said, "Lon, this has definitely tested me a little bit, but I think it's going to be really good for me." That kind of maturity shows she's not just preparing to return, she's preparing to return better.
She is a supernova a level of fame with one-of-a-kind talent, and it is game-changing for the entire league.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball. Because she's that awesome person, and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
What's even more telling is how much she missed practice. Not just the spotlight, not just the scoring, but the daily grind of improving alongside her teammates. "I love practice," she said.
I love practice. I love getting better.
Not a lot of people say that, but I really enjoy coming out here and competing every single day.
I think at times the hardest part is just not being able to be involved in practice. I love practice. Not a ton of people always enjoy coming to practice every single day, but that's something I really enjoy. I really enjoy coming out here and competing every single day with my teammates.
That love for the process, that hunger to grow, is exactly why Caitlin Clark is built differently. Even while hurt, she was watching film, cheering from the bench, giving feedback to teammates, and learning from coaches in ways most young stars overlook. While others debated whether she should come back soon, Caitlin was locked in on doing things the right way. She made it clear she's not going to rush, but when her body gives the green light, she's ready.
We do not want to rush Caitlin Clark back. I want to make sure Caitlin Clark is 100% before she come back, bro. If I was the GM and if I was in charge of this stuff, I would make sure Caitlin Clark was 100% before she came back.
She even described how adrenaline masked the pain during the Liberty game, where the injury occurred. It wasn't until after the game that the pain really hit, and the MRI results showed a clear quad issue. But through all that, her resolve didn't waver. "Those kinds of things don't lie," she said, referring to the MRI.
After the game, I had some pain, and then got an MRI, and that kind of gave me the result that I didn't want to see. But those type of things don't lie. So yeah.
And so she did what few rookies do. She put the team first by putting recovery first. Even from the sidelines, Caitlin remained the voice of the team. She positioned herself as a bridge between the coaching staff and the players. Whether that's in the locker room at halftime, during timeouts, or just sharing what I see. I try to be a connector, she explained. That's next-level awareness. It shows that while her body rested, her mind stayed in the game. That leadership doesn't just disappear when she returns. It amplifies what she already brings on the court.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity to grow, right? Just try to approach it in the best way I can. It's certainly weird. It's like, that's probably honestly what I miss most. Obviously, I miss the games. That goes for anybody that's ever hurt. But so I think that's just kind of been the time for me to really find some patience. And I've never been a patient person my entire life. So this has definitely tested me a little bit, but I think it's going to be really good for me. And like I said, I've just tried to approach it in the best way I possibly can. I can't change it. But yeah, I think my patience has definitely grown a lot. And like I said, just trying to grow and learn. And I think I've certainly done that.
But what makes this comeback moment so electric is how badly she wants it and how clear it is that she's been working toward this exact moment every single day. The media frenzy wasn't caused by a vague team statement. It was sparked by Caitlin herself, saying she's feeling great, making progress, and naming the very next game against the Atlanta Dream as a real possibility. That isn't accidental. That's a calculated sign of readiness and intention. And let's talk about the emotional weight of that potential return.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
The jerseys, the number 22, the various styles, whether it's a t-shirt with 22, whether it's an Iowa jersey, whether it's a Fever jersey, a throwback, whatever. The amount of people in yellow 22 apparel is stunning.
The Atlanta Dream game isn't just another matchup. It's the same team known for playing Clark hard earlier this season, bumping, holding, physically challenging her at every turn. That game was a war zone. And now if Clark steps back onto the court in that environment, it sends a message to the entire league.
Caitlin Clark to potentially be coming back.
Caitlin Clark is the closest thing that they have to quality play. Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark effect is very real. She is the most valuable player in the league.
She's not afraid, she's not backing down, and she's ready for whatever comes her way. What we're seeing now is more than just a player healing from injury. We're seeing a young superstar who has learned how to lead without scoring, how to impact a team without being on the court, and how to elevate herself mentally in the face of adversity. Caitlin Clark's comeback isn't just about playing again. It's about picking up where she left off, with the same intensity, same leadership, and same fire.
A fan took this iPhone footage of the Indiana Fever doing a workout after that game against the Atlanta Dream. And it was Caitlin, it was Brianna Turner, Jaylen Brown, and Natasha Howard. They were working out in the hallway and just doing some simple lifting. And then also you can see here, Sophie Cunningham comes out of the locker room and she is wearing a boot. So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
But now, with even more experience and perspective behind her, there's no doubt when Caitlin Clark returns, she's not coming back as the same player. She's coming back smarter, tougher, and more dangerous than ever. And if Tuesday's game is the stage for that return, then fans, opponents, and the entire league better get ready, because Caitlin Clark is about to remind the world exactly who she is.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person, and she has a lot of aura, so
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
So there you have it. Caitlin Clark is on the brink of stepping back onto the court, and the buzz is electric. Her body is healing, her mindset is razor sharp, and her fire to compete has never burned brighter. Whether it's Tuesday against the Atlanta Dream or shortly after, one thing is crystal clear. Her comeback is real and it's coming fast.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
She's the face of the league.
agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. Just so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know, us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
This isn't just about one game. It's about a statement that no injury, no doubt, and no pressure can hold back a player like Caitlin Clark. She's returning not just to play, but to take over, to lead her team, and to finish what she started.
She is highly likable. I think that lends itself to her popularity as she comes across as somebody that's really just respectful, likable. There's other players out there that just don't come across that way.
If you're excited to see her back where she belongs, lighting it up on the court, drop 100% in the comments and let everyone know you're riding with Caitlin Clark all the way. The comeback starts now, and trust us, it's going to be massive.